Hi, my name is Suren, and today me and my teammates are about to give a speech on water issues that is rising in Malaysia. So, when we talk about Malaysia, the most place that has the issues on water not being supplied frequently, there it is Selangor. So citizens of Selangor has been having this issue for not getting good water supplies. So my main question here is, will there be enough water for the request within the next 25 to 50 years? Perhaps so. So water is the most essential single element in order for people to accomplish the universal human right to a standard of living adequate for the health as well as well-being of himself and his family. Lacking of access to fresh water, health and well-being are severely jeopardized. This is because people cannot live without basic water supplies. Moving on, water is the basic necessity of every human being, but water scarcity is a major issue that is rising very rapidly in modern day Malaysia. The problem has become so severe that in many states the groundwater has almost dried up and people have to depend on water supply from other sources. In addition, water is one of the most misused commodities that we still waste. It is the central point of our life, but not the central point of our focus. So, if we talk about our personal lives, water is the foundation of our existence. The human body needs water for the day-to-day survival. We may be able to survive without any food for a maybe whole week, but without water, we won't even survive for 3 days. Moreover, our body itself comprises of 70% of water. This in turn helps our body to function normally. So moving on, water is the important need so that people continue to survive without water. Without water, people could only survive for a few months before they had some serious issues on their health problems or even death. So fresh water protection is a huge responsibility that involves in the individual, industrial and even the government. Every single person has a vital role in playing to maybe trying to protect their continuous supply of fresh water. Yeah. So lastly, current rising problem today is the lack of drinking water. Once every 20 years, the consumption of water is double. The supply of fresh water is not renewing at the same speed anymore. The lack of drinking water has caused a much larger problem. The problem is that the water is polluted, and currently about half of the hospital beds in the world are filled with patients with waterborne diseases. So that's all for me. Thank you for lending your ears, and now I'm about to pass the next effect, where this is the intro that I've given. So the effect on the water issues that are rising now will be conducted by AIMIN. So I will pass it over to him. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Suren, for your wonderful speech. I'm SYAZWAN. Now I want to tell about lack of water can affect on many types, such as can be hunger or difficulties for poverty and education. Apart from dehydration due to the obvious lack of drinking water, hunger is one of the most serious effects of water scarcity. Why? Water shortage have a direct impact on crops and livestock, which can lead to food shortage and eventually starvation. It also problems involve for food provided at roadside stalls, night markets, or even restaurant. People also cannot buy the food because of lack of water. As well, because of water shortage, some people cannot take a shower, wash their clothes, or clean their homes properly. This can be cleanliness effect for our home. In the poorest countries, some children can go to school to get a knowledge because they are either too sick or they have to walk for a long time to reach a water source. Even when they can attend, many children cannot learn because of their fatigue, heavy responsibilities, and worries for their families. From this, we must take a step before it become more serious in our lives, suggesting to reclaim water because it's the most important thing to obey the lack of water, such as rainwater harvesting and recycle wastewater also allow to reduce scarcity and ease pressures on groundwater and other natural water bodies. Groundwater recharge that allows water moving from surface water to groundwater is a well-known process to prevent water scarcity. Other than that, awareness and education is also very very important to solve water crisis. In fact, in order to cope with future water scarcity, it is necessary to radically reform all forms of consumption. That's all for me. Thank you. Now I want pass it over to Amirah for the next effect on water issue. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amirah. I'm the night presenter, and my point is I want to talk about problem to agriculture and ecosystem. No water means no crops. Previous region with a good amount of water have seen decline in the groundwater, and without water they cannot grow crops. Groundwater pollution can lead to devastating environmental change. One such alteration is the loss of certain nutrients that are essential for self-sustenance of the ecosystem. When the pollution meets with water bodies, alternation of the aquatic ecosystem may also occur. Aquatic animals such as fish may die quickly as a result of too many contaminants in the water's body. Not just animal, as we know, plant also using the contaminated water also may be affected. Toxic substance accumulate with time in the aquifer, and once the brine spreads, it may render the groundwater unsuitable for human and animal consumption. The effects are seriously, especially to people who rely on the groundwater during drought periods. Therefore, the industry in affected area will have to outsource for water from other regions, which may turn out to be expensive. In addition, they may be forced to close down due to the poor quality of water. Thank you from me, and now I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Amirah. My name is Nazirah. The water issue arising in several areas Selangor can also give a serious threat to the health of the people. This is because they lack of clean water for their body. As we know, all people need water to survive like other living things. Therefore, if this water crisis occurs, human beings are the most affected life. Because everything in human life depends on water, and people will be get disease and their health will be affected. It will also affect the human economy system because when people sick, automatically they will be not able to do a job. The issue of water supply is also often associated with hygiene and general health problems. For example, toilet at public and place like a mall or store must be closed to prevent uncontrolled dirty and pollution. This situation will cause difficulties to the people who visit this place. Okay, the lack of water supply also can affect people health. Lack of water supply also can affect people health to become weak and not energetic. People can suffer from various diseases such as fever and diarrhea due to drinking unclean water. This is because people suffer from dehydration, which is a lack of water in the body, and can sometimes cause diseases such as cholera because they have to drink contaminated water. Other than that, waterborne illness and lack of sanitation are also of the possible cause associated with death. For children under the age of 5, waterborne illness is the leading cause of the death. So, as you can see, there are a lot of effects to our health if this water continue. It can endanger human life and it will make danger to people, include animals. Thank you.
So, for the next topic, I want to share about water crisis in Selangor which had effect on industrial and tourism. By frequent disruption of water supply to the areas in the Klang Valley, especially in Selangor, has affected numerous industries including the small and medium enterprises. Most of the entrepreneurs and traders lost thousands of ringgit in revenue per day. Their operation experienced unscheduled water cuts for many days, including the incident which occurred for the last 2 months due to pollution at raw water sources. In October 8, disrupted water supply following the shutting down of the Sungai Semenyih and Bukit Tampoy water treatment plants had been restored to 238 areas, while the remaining 36 more areas were still in the recovery process. Most of the industry had suffered loss were those who involved in food production. Chicken supplier in Meru Klang had to halt his business for 4 days due to the unscheduled water supply disruption, causing a loss of about 5,000 ringgit as he could not supply fresh chicken to canteens and eateries. Water crisis in Selangor also affected on tourism, especially for a restaurant. Some restaurants got an issue when they had not prepared. It has gotten to the point that the food stall had begun layering their plates with plastic sheets so the plate can be used again without getting dirty. For tourist views, it may give a negative impact on the cleanliness of the restaurant due to water problem factor that occurs for several days. Some of employees of the restaurant need to collect water far from their business restaurant site to make sure they have enough water supply to run the business. What government should provide when this crisis happen again? Government should compensate by at least giving a discount on water bills and at the same time provide water to business lots when water supply disruptions occur.
Thank you, Shahrul, for your speech. I'm KEETANA here. The water arising has been popular issue today in Selangor. They are warrior of a cause which is responsible for this adversity. These are the first reason that effect of water supply disruption goes being a sticky armpit and dirty toilet. Long period of water disruption may affect the economy and generally can be a great pain in the industry. Also, with the new COVID-19 cluster popping everywhere, including Selangor, has been a no water can be danger as well soon. These are the history of the water Selangor in this year. The river are the most commonly polluted are Sungai Semenyih and Sungai Selangor, ranging from burst pipe to the river stream being polluted with solvent. Here the list of water disruption in the state since start of the year. On February 7, 57 area in Gombak faced water disruption due a burst pipe at Hulu Kelang pump house. On March 7, water treatment plants in Sungai Selangor, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 and Rata Panjang where forced health operation after order pollution was detected the raw water intake source in Sungai Selangor. On April 16, other round of the order pollution result in Sungai Selangor water treatment plant Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 shutting down affecting 1.2 million users in Kuala Lumpur, Petaling, Klang, Shah Alam, Kuala Selangor, Hulu Selangor, Gombak and Kuala Langat. On June 11, there are 215 areas are affected of the water because of the pipe burst in Bandar Bestari and Batu Lima. On July 14, almost 300 areas were affected by scheduled water reception during a repair and improvement works at the Sungai Selangor. On August 11, there are 20 areas Gombak face other round of water reception. This is time to schedule upgrading and replacement the critical asset of Sungai Gombak and water treatment plant. On September 3, 292 areas are affected in the unscheduled water supply reception following the operation of the water treatment plant in a Sungai Selangor Phase 1, 2, 3 and Rata Panjang due order pollution that was later identified come from the factory in Drawang. Last but not least, on October 4, 274 areas in Petaling, Hulu Langat, Kuala Langat and Sepang without water. The cause of the attribution order, pollution say they are original from the Nilai because of the pipe burst. Thank you.
Thank you, Keetana, for your wonderful speech. Hi, I'm UMAIR. Now it's my turn to give a speech about the effect of water issues arising in Selangor. My point of the effect is education. Yes, education. As we know, the common effect is health problem and economy, but we almost forget that education also is one of the effect of water issues. How does it happen? It happens when the children need to help their family to travel every day to collect water for their family usage, and that will take their times away from school. Not only does the time spent walking miles to collect water affect attendance, but illness from poor water and sanitation means the children are forced to miss school. Just imagine, they go to school without taking any shower. Would they want to go to school? Are they feel ashamed about it? Of course they will feel ashamed. They just kid. Even though we as an adult will feel ashamed too if we does not taking any shower before go to college or work. And also if they not taking a shower for a long period, they will get sick. If they get sick, they cannot attend school to get their education. And if they does not have any education, they will not get a good job prospect in future, and the country economy will be reduced also. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Keetana, for that speech. Recently, the water supply in Selangor has become more frequent as if there was no end. The water crisis refers to the status of a water resource related to human demand that an area has a problem supplying clean water. Selangor is known as the most developed and among of richest states in Malaysia, a part of the country's economic generation center, but this state has the highest frequency of water supply outages. The fact is the water issue in Selangor has never been resolved. In 2019, no less than 10 times supply disruption occurred.
This month only, the people of Selangor has experienced water supply disruption several times to become a champion of the water supply problems in this country. The water crisis is not a new thing for all of us, so we need to be more efficient water management and use. In addition to continuous monitoring, this frequent of this unscheduled, non-on-the-schedule duty stoppages need to be investigated and firm action must be taken by the government. We must work with the government, especially in the terms of attitude for the community who do not maintain the cleanness of the river, so the river rehabilitated and management program can be done continuously to ensure perfections of river engagement and its environment. Once or twice might be acceptable for the user, but if completely maintaining is done, the complaint will federalize and the user will be fed up with the water issue. However, Syarikat Air Selangor so far deserves to be prized for its sensitivity and quickness in dealing with problems. There are consistent information, description status and supply recover process for over 1 million account holder, 1,133 affected locations. Therefore, we need to work together in overcome this water problem so that all parties are no longer must be bear with the risk in the absence of water. A part of the government and the management body, we also need to play an important role in the section of conserving water resource as well as reducing water wastage. Without a proper corporate cooperator for all parties, this problem will not be resolved until further harm and complicate the situation in the future. That's all for me and my team. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and Assalamualaikum.